And then we have Pedro Camargo. Is that how you say it? And of course you get a Savage Dragon versus Mako in this one. But, you know, lots of violence and gritty stuff in this one.
Yeah, I like the artwork in this one too.
Yeah.
And the violence.
Yeah, and you get to see, you know, Mako taking a big bite out of Savage Dragon here, so.
And Dragon crushes Mako's skull.
Yep,
really
very violent,
gritty,
brutal,
gory, post-apocalyptic.
Prison pit-esque a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, what if Johnny Ryan would have done a story in this one? God.
All right, then we have Jason Thibodeau, it looks like. Nice, delicate artwork in this one. This one just follows Angel. A little bit of Malcolm's in here, too. Kind of like their school life, you know, dealing with a bully.
Yep, another kind of day in the life kind of thing, like between the action.
Yeah.
That's kind of how these characters deal with their crazy life and balance that with regular high school.
Yeah. But I did like the, you know, pastel-y type tone to it.
This was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was my favorite, one of my favorites.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
Of course, right? All right. Then we have Paul Maybury and Giannis Milan. Oh my god, I'm going to butcher that one. Just look at it. This is a weird one. I don't even know what to say about this one. It was just weird.
I did like the vibrant colors.
Yeah. There's a lot of like weird like science fiction like elements going into it with the cars and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just kind of a weird one, but yeah, it has a lot of energy to it, I feel like. But not one of my favorites overall. And then we get to this one that was, I'm assuming this was in the original backup story too.
Yep, this was the
finale.
This was the last one that ran in the comic book.
And this one has, a bunch of different artists.
Including,
just doing very short.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different artists illustrating a single story where Dragon jumps into all these different versions of himself in different dimensions. And one of the artists is Erik Larsen, the creator of Savage Dragon, so he is involved in this as well. So we see a female version of Dragon, and a caveman version of Dragon, and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to say I didn't really like that one.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Because I generally do not like when multiple artists illustrate a single story.
Yeah.
That hardly ever works.
And it really didn't, I mean, I don't know, like the plot was made just to show that off, you know what I mean, too?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, eh.
Yep.
And the plot wasn't interesting or anything.
I never liked that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, that was kind of an odd weak point. The one that Larsen himself was actually involved in, I didn't love. But fortunately, they didn't end on that note in the book. They ended on this one, which is not
amazing.
This one was not published in in the comic book. Let's get that artist's name because I know he's a Belgian artist. Dieter van der Oogstrijde, which I'm probably butchering somewhat, but he's a great, is he Belgian, Norwegian, something like that, cartoonist who's got this really vibrant, great-looking art style. He's drawing really grotesque things in here. He introduces a new cast of villains for Dragon to fight. So this one was probably my favorite in the whole book, and I love that they ended on it. Just the artwork is just so vibrant and wonderful looking.
It reminds me of Candyland a little bit.
Yeah, it's like these candy-coated colors, but it's illustrating all these grotesque things. The innards are what they call these group of villains.
But a lot of fun things happen in this one.
Dragon peels off his skin at one point.
Yeah, this one is great. This was a great one to end on, I feel like, too.
Yep. And that's that. Some sketches, some sketches in the back, and So overall, that was a big success.
Yeah, I really love this. Like, I feel like I enjoyed this more than the issues of Dragon with Malcolm.
Well, do you think people who are not fans of Savage Dragon would be able to pick that up and enjoy it?
It's pretty much an anthology series. It's like these indie creators just doing like superhero comics. You know what I mean? However they want to do it.
Yeah, if you like what is sometimes termed like fusion comics, like Frank Santoro calls them, like stuff like King City or Power Masters or Prison Pit that we mentioned earlier, I think this stuff kind of comfortably fits in that mode. It's alternative guys doing genre material. A
lot of fun, a lot of creativity, but great looking art. You'll probably discover a few artists that you really like out of this anthology, I feel like. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And I loved that it was a book of these cartoonists who, probably not all of them were Dragon fans, but I know Mitchell Fife is and was, and I'm sure a lot of them were. You know, these are guys who, you know, when they were growing up, when they were kids, they were reading the early Image comics. And I just love that, you know, Larsen's work and the work of his contemporaries have inspired this whole new generation of cartoonists. Because I do think Dragon is kind of it's not... to say it's undiscovered might be too much, but I think it's an underappreciated masterpiece. I love it. I think what Erik Larsen is creating every month in Dragon is so much of what I enjoy about superhero comics is embodied in that book. So
yeah, I don't have as strong of an attachment to Savage Dragon as you, but
do.
But I do. I mean, he's had some really great like arcs and runs. Like especially I think the beginning it was a solid, and lately he's been doing some really great stuff too. So I mean, I recommend Savage Dragon too. I think it's a lot of fun.
Definitely more people should be reading it.
Yeah, and the only problem with Dragon is it just doesn't have like a good like reprint like collection going on. You know what I mean? I feel like it's really hard to grab new readers without that like backlist. You know what I mean? I mean, there are trade paperbacks.
Yeah,
and
there's some gaps. There's some gaps in the trade paperback collection, and yeah, it's hard for people to know when to jump on. There's no new number ones. There's no, you know, but I would say just dive right in. You'll be okay, and you'll be so interested that you'll want to get the back issues, and it. You know, I don't think you need to have read every issue of Savage Dragon to be able to enjoy Savage Dragon. I mean, I've forgotten so much about it at this point. Like, you know, it doesn't require you to you know, be an expert in this world that he's created. But if you like just fun superhero comics, if you value creators who are committed to their creations and are going to have a long run, then Dragon is definitely a book you should be reading. It's great fun.
And I mean, Image publishes this, and I like their collections, their hardcover collections of like Invincible and Walking Dead. I would kind of like to see them do something like that. Just give it, you know, the kind of, I don't know, format it kind of deserves to showcase it.
Yep.
Maybe something a little oversized or something like that.
We'll see something like that eventually.
I hope so.
But in the meantime,
I
would start buying the issues or the trade paperbacks.
Yep. Start with 175. Start with Twisted Savage Dragon Funnies, but just start with it.
Yep. There you go.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in this week, and we will see you again next week.